Welcome back, everyone, to Delta Green and Dead Letter. Delta Green, of course, is the role-playing game of Everything Ends Horribly. And your characters will either die horribly or suffer horrible mental health issues because of what they have seen. And with us this time, we have Z-Cell, like all the other time, because we're in fact following Z-Cell, aren't we? Feel free to introduce yourselves.
I'm Brian, I'm playing Dr. Alex Blair.
I'm Coach, playing Agent Adrian Follis.
Cal, playing Jacqueline Morgan.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yay, sorry. I was actually talking earlier. I didn't know anyone could hear me. Anyway, I'm Harper. I'm playing...
And unfortunately, Corvus will not be joining us this time. I'm sure Tristan will be functioning as a meat shield for everyone else. Like, as long as you run faster than Tristan, you're safe, right?
Sure.
Right?
I think so long as we run slower than him, we're fine.
Oh, you think he's gonna run towards the danger?
Oh, absolutely.
I was thinking he would be, in the case everybody's running away. No.
Look, this is the same character who climbed on the back of Mothman. Pretty sure while screaming Freebird, so...
There is a point here, I think, to this. So, yes, this is... Okay, fair enough. Okay, So you're telling me he's gonna die first? Unless someone else is trying to drive a car?
Yeah, I was about to say, if you told me a character died that episode, I would have completely believed it was Tristan.
Accidentally just kind of... Or I'd sneak into the wrong place at the wrong time.
I mean...
Oh, you've had a pretty
You
good
got it.
sneak record.
I mean, yeah. Will that save me, though? Probably not.
Sneaking in to the wrong place at the wrong time is a very Delta Green thing to do, and I'm surprised it hasn't happened more yet. Last time was actually 2 weeks ago, because I was sick last week. Very sad. So, Z-Cell, you began your day by splitting the group, which is always the best thing, so you can cover more ground. Actually, sometimes it is an effective thing to do. Don't let the D&Ders get in the way of a good investigation, right? You split between two locations, and Blair and Sarah Gwynn were trying to improvise a rudimentary chemistry test on a soil sample collected by Tristan from the nearby ABC facility. He was testing. He brought some soil from outside the fence. Using a coffee filter and rubbing alcohol, they confirmed the presence of trace amounts of the same mysterious blue compound that you found in the original biological anomaly. Concerned about the potential contamination of the nearby Milk River, they drove downstream outside the Blackfeet Reservation to collect more samples, which ultimately tested negative for the substance. Meanwhile, Fallis, Morgan, and Tristan maintained their stakeout overlooking the ABC compound. Tristan grew restless with the inactivity, advocating for a more direct infiltration, but Morgan and Fallis urged caution and used the laser listening device aimed at the administration building. Fallis intercepted a phone call from the site manager, Ray Turner. He was heard pressuring a doctor about a lack of deliverables, mentioning unresponsive subjects, an anti-coma indication, and a new gas that causes reanimation but not reintegration, whatever that means. He scheduled a meeting for the following day to review the data. Frustrated by the team's hesitation to act, Phalanx contacted the handler Drake, requesting a diversion to facilitate entry, but Drake denied the request, stating that they lacked the justification for such a maneuver, and advised them to continue investigating the sender of the original package, Thomas Ironshirt. Gwyn received an enthusiastic call from Dwight, an intern at the Ecotopian publication. He had taken Gwyn's tip and was now passionately writing an expose on ABC, much to Gwyn's horror as she realized she had unleashed an amateur on a sensitive situation. Nothing can go wrong by unleashing a college grad with, I guess, flirtation in mind, as it were.
Oh, it's way worse. I unleashed a horny college grad
Yes.
on a group of, a student organization run mostly by women.
Yes. Well, he was already in there, but now you've given him.
I've given him hope.
idea.
That's the problem.
Yes, you did.
Given him ideas.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't care if he stumbles into ABC and gets himself killed. What I care is if he's being a nuisance to all the other nice women there.
Oh, he's definitely going to be a nuisance to them. He's going to be like,
God
I have
damn
a
it.
piece here. It's going to be great. I have a contact, and we can do the flash. Meanwhile, in San Francisco scene, which would be interesting and depressing, I'm sure. Blair, Gwyn, and Dristan decided to seek out one of the former COINTELPRO informants that Drake had given you information about, a sheep rancher named Carl Madblue. He was suspicious but helpful, confirmed rumors about chemical spills and cover-ups at ABC. He suggested that many on the tribal council were in ABC's pocket, which you already knew. But he also identified Detective Wallace Redcrow of the tribal police as an honest man, and he described Thomas Ironshirt as a small-time crook who, along with his crew, hadn't been seen in 2 months. Then you went to the tribal police station and met with said Detective Redcrow. After some initial coyness, you revealed your federal credentials, and Redcrow confirmed Ironshirt's reputation and disappearance. When shown the letter that accompanied the anomaly, he stated it was not Ironshirt's handwriting and revealed that Ironshirt's girlfriend, Lynn Crystal Stone, works as a janitor at the ABC plant, providing a new prime suspect, or at least person of interest for your investigation. Phalanx, meanwhile, intercepted 2 more conversations. The first was between Turner and his security head, discussing a recent breach. Apparently, they mentioned something had left the building, leading to heightened security, including paired patrols, rekeyed doors, and time-locked badges for custodial staff. The final intercepted call was Turner speaking with the doctor again, referencing a licensed product called Sapphire being shipped to South American clients. He berated the doctor for their fixation on curing death and using the word resurrection, warning that such experiments could jeopardize their entire operation. That is where we left off. Where we're picking up is 5 p.m. Thursday, September 10th, 1998, in Browning, Montana, where Detective Redcrow is guiding the 3 agents to, well, it's a trailer on the outskirts of the small town of Browning, where apparently Lynn Crystal Stone lives. Or so he says. And he is about to knock on the door, unless y'all want to do something else.
Nope, this seems like the best course of action right now.
Yeah, I interpret the silence as no other such plans.
Yeah, sorry, but I keep forgetting I mute myself.
Well, yeah, he will knock on the door, and it's gonna take a moment or three, but eventually, someone opens the door. She is not very old. What, like 18, 19, something like that? Late teens? And yeah, she's opening the door slightly ajar. And yeah, she'll say as she opened the door. And there's like Red Crow and the three of you by the door. Which I think we can do a human test really quickly to see how Tristan Gwyn Blair interprets her glances. Or interpret her glances.
Oh.
Wow. That's how we want to open it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gwyn doesn't do things like that. This is not a chemistry sample, so Gwyn is not really one to understand what happens with that. No, nor is Tristan, really. He's not here to talk to people. He is here to punch them.
No, I think that's more of a phallus thing at this point.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be the sneaky guy. Well, Blair, she has like 5 red flags inside her eyes as she's looking at you because this is weird. None of you are her regular friends or, her crew that she hangs out with. I guess let's see. Both Gwyn and Tristan are at least 5 years older than her, which at her age is enough to move in different social circles or, maybe be her boss or something. And, I mean, Blair, you're practically ancient, aren't you? In like your early 40s. So the fact that, Blair and Red Crow, very middle-aged people in comparison to this young lady. So yeah, she definitely has her guard up as you've come to her door. What's the plan here, folks?
Have you heard from Thomas Ironshirt lately?
I think Detective Red Crow, I mean, he has the badge, right? So he'll introduce himself. Hello there, Lynn. I think we've seen each other before. You know what who I'm looking for? I'm looking for Thomas. Where's Tom? She's just gonna look at you all and just shake her head. I don't know. I don't know where he is. Can we come in? Have a word, perhaps? I gotta go soon, she says. I really gotta go soon. I sent you a message, Blair.
Yeah, her picture is stuck on my screen. I'm trying to figure out.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
There's a small button underneath it, which is like
There-
the arrows. Small square, but that's okay. I have minimized it.
Are you sure you don't have time? Because this is pretty important.
Yeah, but I need to go to work soon, and that's pretty important too. I haven't done nothing, and I don't know where he is, and that's all I can say right now. I really gotta go. Who
We
is
are.
gonna... What was that?
Sorry. I was just gonna say we're concerned he might be in danger. We're not trying to get him in trouble. We just want to know that he's alive.
Sent you another message, Blair. You had a good human check. I don't know anything. I don't know nothing. I haven't seen him. It's you know, she's like, I really gotta go to my shift, you know? Gwyn is amazing at persuading. Nope. Because you have brought Red Crow here, Blair, I think, can read that because she is very good at reading people right now. Because you have brought Red Crow here, your persuasion attempts... It's Red Crow and his badge, really, you know. I think at this stage, Lynn is gonna assume that you're all from law enforcement. Your persuasion will have a -20. So, Gwyn, why don't you roll? I'm sure you can succeed with a 0-1.
No. No. No.
Not at all. Not even a little bit.
My lord.
Listen, says Red Crow. I know he's off and up to no good, but we're not really here about what he's been doing, or, you know, we have no reason to believe that you're in trouble, but he might be in trouble, and it's as this young lady says here, we just want to be sure that he's safe. We're looking out for him, Lynn. We're looking out for him. That's what we're doing. Blair, do you want to make an attempt? No? Okay. She's gonna actually let you all in.
Oh.
Yeah, because did you see how nicely Wallace rolled?
Yay.
Yeah. Alright. Alright. She's gonna... Blair, you're gonna get the sense that she is letting you in mostly because she doesn't want to have you standing outside her door. Someone might look. She's like, when you come in to her trailer, right? It's not a very glamorous habitation, but she's definitely looking outside the door to see if anyone looked at you guys coming to her place and going inside her door. Like, your vehicle is there. It's an unusual vehicle. It scares her that it's there. And she's just letting you in. She's not offering you anything to drink yet, or, you know, having a seat or what have you. It's pretty messy in here. There's a couch. It's filled with various items that she hasn't bothered picking up. Some candy wrappers. On the stand next to the couch, there's a bunch of cans. Some are soda, some are beer. It's just a bit messy, certainly on the floor as well. And she's just gonna stand around there. Yeah, so like, what do you want? I don't really... I don't really know anything about where Tom is right now. Like, I haven't seen him for a while.
Well, we received a package containing a biohazard from him, and it claimed to have been from ABC, and we're worried that the company may be after him.
Yeah, Blair, she reacts to that. I'm actually going to check to see if... Oh, look at that. Yeah. For the rest of you, she's just very stone-faced. Like, I wouldn't know nothing about that. He doesn't work for ABC. I'm the one who works for ABC. I'm just a cleaner, though. I just, work with janitorial things. I just clean the toilets, really, is what I do. Like, what the fuck kind of job do you think I can get anyway? Like, and she's never looking at you directly in the eyes. She's putting her eyes firmly on the ground in front of her feet. She's shifting her weight between the feet now and again. And Blair, I think you're actually the one with the highest chance of any type of persuasion right here.
Yeah.
Which isn't a lot, but
Is
it's
that
something.
what minus 20? Is that just a normal roll or minus 20?
Minus 20, definitely, because you came in with all the badges. I mean, you haven't shown her FBI badges, but that's hardly
Nope.
gonna help. So what are you saying to her?
I'm just gonna flat out ask. Did you use his name to send that package?
What? No! I ain't sent no packages.
Are you sure?
Yeah! Like, do I look like someone who sends the mail or whatever? I don't do that. What would I would even send it, though? What kind of package? I don't know what you're talking about. She's very much climbing up.
Of course.
She's, her trust for Detective Red Crow Blair is as low as it can get. Like, she's just absolutely side-eyeing him, and because of his presence, she's side-eyeing all of you as well.
Well, we're not here to punish who sent the letter. We just want to make sure that whoever did is safe. So...
Well, I don't know nothing
Yeah.
about that. If I sent anything, what do you mean send a letter? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't write letters. You think Tom sent a letter? He don't write no letters. Where would he even write a letter to? I don't know.
The Equitopian?
The fuck is that?
A newspaper in California?
Newspaper? I have no idea what you're talking about, lady.
Okay.
What was in the letter?
It asked one of the writers in the Equitopian to do a piece covering what was going on at ABC.
Or going on at ABC?
The biohazard they sent was a sample from their lab, apparently, and it was highly unethical. So they asked the Equitopian to write a piece exposing how unethical the company was.
What do you mean unethical?
The sample that was sent was a severed dog head.
The fuck? The fuck? Who the fuck would be what do you think? I'm some kind of sicko? I mean,
No, I don't.
Tom does kind of weird shit, but he's not a sicko.
I mean, the head contained traces of a drug that ABC is working on.
They don't do drugs in there. They do medicines. Like pharmacy and stuff.
Yes, sorry, the medicine, yes. I meant drug as in the medicine term, not like the...
Well, drugs
Okay,
ain't
fair.
medicine,
Fair.
she says. She mutters to herself.
Oh,
She seems very confused about the whole medicine is a drug or something.
They contained a medicine. The head contained a medicine that ABC is working on.
Okay. Huh. I don't know shit about that, she says. I really gotta go.
Good luck.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, get out of here. Yeah.
Got it.
I don't know nothing, and I don't know why you guys are here.
Okay, have a good day.
So, are you leaving?
I mean, she's asking us to.
Yeah, she is asking you to leave.
So yes, I will leave.
leaving. Once we're outside, Blair's just gonna speak up. She's hiding something, but I think she's too scared of the ABC to really tell us.
Well, that wouldn't surprise me greatly, says the detective. Her and Tom, they've been up to... I mean, she's not really part of the crew as such, because it's basically Tom and a couple of boys, you know. But, I mean, whatever they were doing, she's got to know about it. She's got to be very familiar with it.
Right.
So now we know she knows something, I guess, right?
Right.
Yeah.
How do you want to play it from here? This is as you are getting to the vehicle and maybe driving away. I don't know how far you're gonna go away from her house.
Let's give her some time. She seemed genuinely distressed about the dog head, but also seemed to know about the letter. So,
Right.
maybe she gets curious this shift. Maybe she tries poking around the lab. Who knows? Maybe whatever she finds, she'll report back to us.
Maybe she tells security that some weird people were trying to ask her questions.
Well, if she sent the package, she's not going to put herself at risk. Unless she's that dumb.
Yeah. She's a real MIT graduate from what I can discern.
I think, at the very least, we can let her think on this throughout the day before asking her again.
Let me
Right.
stew for a while. Yeah, that makes sense. Do you guys want to watch her, or should I?
Maybe you would be best to watch her, since we don't have jurisdiction here. So,
Yeah, that would be best.
On the other hand, I mean, we have a bit of a situation here with all of us sticking out so like sore thumbs, don't we? Like, the people around here, they know me. So, they know I work for the law. On the other hand, you guys won't exactly blend in, if you take my meaning.
and that's why we think you should watch her for the day at least.
He's frowning a little bit. What's that? Well, here's what I'm worried about. You're saying that ABC is up to no good. I can believe that. You're saying that she knows something about ABC being up to no good. It's possible. Maybe, I mean, if your theory here about Tom and his bunch trying to break into ABC because they're just stupid enough to do it, if that theory's true, maybe they came across something they weren't supposed to see. And Lynn knows about it. Or at least she knows enough about it to be worried. Well, that kind of makes her a loose end for ABC, don't it?
Yes, it does.
As long as she keeps her head down and her mouth shut and manages to keep her cool, I guess they wouldn't have any reason to suspect her, seeing as they haven't done anything to her yet. But if she blows it, if she does anything stupid in there, or if she freaks out somehow while she's there working, what's to say she'll ever come out again? If they already done something to Tom and the crew? Now, I'm not saying they have, but I'm also not saying they haven't. I'm just speculating here. Because, I mean, you've presented us with a few interesting pieces here, haven't you? Like Tom and the crew being connected to ABC in some fashion, writing the letter, and so on and so forth, sending the package. Which I don't think he did, but I mean, there's a reason his name is on the package, clearly.
And
Well,
if,
this is in writing.
well, for now she seems set on going inside of ABC. But if we can confirm that she was seen before entering the building, but not seen leaving, then we could have the case to go and search the building.
Like a missing persons case?
Yes.
Oh, it could be done, I guess. She was last seen going into. Yeah.
So with Tom, we can't confirm that that was his last known location, but with her, we can. I mean, we all saw her alive and well before she went to work, correct?
That's fair. That's fair.
And if we follow her, then we can see her enter the premises. And?
It's true enough as well. Yeah, I think that's good enough to work with. Of course, the moment we do that, the moment we make it a missing persons case officially, it's not going to be in my lap. It's missing. I don't do missing persons. I do stolen property. But maybe it's part of my stolen property case, and maybe then I can keep working on it.
I mean, the item that was stolen, the severed dog head, could be considered stolen property from the lab. So, if she
Good.
goes missing,
I like how
she
you
goes
think.
missing.
I like how you
Thank
think,
you.
young lady. I like how you think.
Thank you.
You might
Thank
not
you.
have been on this for a long time, but you definitely have the instincts for it.
Thank you.
This sounds to me like we're gonna have the crew driving after Lynn Crystal Stone to the ABC facility, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Because she's in
Yeah.
fact going there for the night shift. Or the what shift is it now? The shift that starts after you leave. Which
Graveyard?
is- Possibly. I had all the shifts written down. Where was it? Dang it. No, not there. Shift. Sorry. There we go. Yeah, no, the second shift. So she would work. No, it's going to be the third shift. Yeah, midnight to 9 a.m. apparently. Yeah. So she's not actually going to leave. If she was working the evening shift, she would already have left her house, and she hasn't done it. So, yeah. So yeah, she's gonna not be going to the place until midnight or so. You would know this, at least in maybe not Red Crow, but like the earliest, she's either gonna go on shift at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning or midnight tonight.
We can have someone arrange stakeout outside her house.
You could definitely do that.
Now, Tristan seems like the perfect person to stick on another stakeout right now.
Yes, doesn't he? And he's also amazing at
Yes.
stealthing, so let's put him on a stakeout.
Yeah.
What did I tell you? He
Let's
is
also give him
going-
a camera.
What was that?
Let's also give him a camera, just
Yes.
so it can't be a just he said situation.
Right. So Tristan is gonna. I mean, Red Crow. He's not gonna. We're gonna have shifts here watching her, obviously. But then he's very sneaky, and Red Crow doesn't really have to be that sneaky, though he certainly could try. Unfortunately, sneaking is not a thing he does. But yeah, Tristan is sneaky. Meanwhile, we have our friends out camping in the prairie, which is Phallus and Morrigan, and you've been keeping watch on the facility. It's much the same as before. By the time our friends in Browning are done with their work, I'm guessing that we're gonna have Gwyn and Blair connect with Phallus and Morrigan in some fashion, by radio or otherwise, to discuss next steps.
Well, I think their steps would also be get evidence of her entering the facility.
To do that, you'll have to sneak closer, because you're a little bit too far away at base camp to make out individual features. Is this where Morrigan will shine with her amazing sneak?
Perhaps.
If Morrigan wants.
If Morrigan wants to.
Yeah.
Perhaps. It's been a while since I've got to do something.
It has been. But you now have the description of Lynn Crystal Stone's vehicle, which is a very beat up old Chevy from like the 70s. It's a miracle it's still running, basically. It's probably just consisting of duct tape and various wires and chewing gum at this point, keeping it together.
Alright.
Or maybe she even takes the bus from the, like, yeah, I think she's actually taking the bus from, like, Browning Town. So you will need to have a pair of properly powerful binoculars to spot her coming with the bus. And from there, you can, see her enter and so on. With your 72 stealth, I'm not even going to have you roll this. It's, the moment you get word that she's on the way, you will be able to sneak up to a closer position. Or you're going to sneak up to a closer position even now, a few hundred yards away from the compound, hidden in the tall grass, because you are
I'm a ninja.
You're a special operator. This is what you do. You move quietly and you don't pull attention to yourself. And patience is something you have. Fellas, you're not going to get much more out of your listening at the moment. Probably because, it's evening time. Turner is still in his office, but there's no new twists and turns to the case. He keeps following up, much like he's been doing before. He apparently has his supper in his office tonight and watches a TV with whatever happens to be on while he's eating. And then he goes back to coordinating with the others, much like he's done before. And yeah, we're gonna have... Are we organizing shifts here with people sleeping in different times and whatnot?
That would probably be best.
Yeah.
Very well. Morgan is going because, well, you don't actually have to get tired, Morgan, because you can sleep as next to with the radio right by your ear. So if someone says, we got movement here, Lynn, target is on the way, subject is on the way, or person of, I don't know what you would call her, target, package, what have you, code speak, you will get word that she's moving. So it turns out, to make a long story short, that she is on the morning shift. It's going to be another night for you on the watch, but she is going in at 8 a.m. with the bus, and that's when Morgan is going to be able to see her. And since we have planned this so neatly, Red Crow is... He's not been up all night. He's probably gotten some sleep, but, between him and Tristan, they're going to identify her leaving, and he is going to drive the car because he's a better driver than any of you.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, we all know
I'm
what
playing
happens.
somebody who is a good driver.
Well, we all know what happens when you let somebody with a high drive skill drive.
Oh no.
Apparently he's not so good as to keep a proper distance from the bus, which may or may not be a good thing. They might have noticed him. But I promise you that you did not want Tristan to make that check, because he has a drive of 20, so... But yeah, Morrigan, you can see Lynn Crystalstone. It's gotta be her. You see her, 19-year-old or something coming out. You got her identified by how she dresses. She gets off the bus inside the compound. She goes in, and she starts her shift. Is this just a long day of waiting for her to come off her shift? Is that what we're saying? It is now Friday, September 11th, 1998.
Damn.
Nothing bad will ever happen on September 11th, so it's not ominous at all.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was like, do I make a joke about it or what?
No, you don't.
Yeah, I think we'll just wait for her to come out, because... Yeah.
Yeah.
Very well.
Now, we had initially planned on going in before Friday because we had information that security procedures were going to change and tighten. So
right.
there was no reason for us to have not done that.
Are you
We could have died.
retconning here?
I mean,
Well,
we just kind of skipped ahead like 18 hours in a day, so we had
I
initially
was-
planned on going in. So we should at least retcon a conversation saying, hey, we're changing plans again.
Okay. I'm sorry. I thought I was giving you some space there to... Because I was asking about, are we waiting for her and so on. But, okay. Blair, Gwyn, Morgan. I guess this is Gwyn and Blair who will talk to Phallus and Morgan about the changing of plans then.
yeah, I mean, we can't just risk our lives in there.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of what they call on us to do. And for the record, you're not going to be risking your lives in there. It's going to be the three of us.
Yes, and when they find your dead bodies in there, it's going to be very easy to tie you back to Delta Green.
Okay, so what's the plan here? Are we waiting for... You say you're trying to get a search warrant?
Yes.
Okay. So you've been following this individual and you have surveillance of them going into this building. And so you present that to the judge. And their first question is going to be, why were you following them?
Because they were connected to a stolen property case.
Oh,
You're
what was the
following
stolen property?
Severed dog head!
Oh, a severed and animated dog head. Yes, please. Let's introduce this into the public system that you can get an FOIA on and everyone can see it.
Well, we're not going to leave out the animated bit, but yes,
No,
a biohazardous severed
Someone stole
dog
a
head.
We would
microscope.
have to present
Someone
it.
stole indescript property like a microscope. It's not going to work. You're going to need to present it. You're going to need to have, it's going to need to be more than, hey, tribal judge, can we get a warrant to breach this place over a thing that we got in the mail and was stolen?
Probably not going to agree either, because all of them are going to be in this company's pockets.
At least nobody who works in there knows about us and has any idea what's going on and might, compromise the security plans that we've had going over the last week or so of being out here. Right.
True.
Right.
Well, I guess we'll just have to get evidence that you entered the building. And when you go missing, we can enter into case.
That would just be evidence of breaking and entering.
I think a lot of people are going to end up going missing if people don't start taking these operations a little bit more seriously. The parameter is don't involve as many people. I mean, yeah, we have a couple friendlies in the area, but we shouldn't be telling anybody at a gas station or anybody, especially that works inside the fucking building, what we're doing.
Have we then?
I don't think we've told anybody the plan. We've just been looking for Iron Shirt. Thomas,
Yes,
I
and
mean.
we shocked a potential suspect. True, won't deny that. But we didn't say we were looking for we were here because of an
Okay.
animated doghead.
Here's another question for you. We get a search warrant. Are they going to turn that over to the four of us as just 4 FBI agents, or are they going to send in a tribal SWAT team with us, or local deputies from surrounding counties that are also going to be there and be witness to what's going on? Like, what if Thomas Ironshirt has a bunch of tubes hooked up to him and he's pumping a bunch of blue goo out of it? How are we going to fucking explain that to the police?
That's sort of
Aesel can explain it.
This
Also-
No, okay.
happened with the
Sarah,
phone.
Sarah,
It's a biomed.
I don't think you understand the scope of what we do here. I really don't think you understand, like, how A-Cell tells a group to go in and do something, and then things don't just magically occur. A-Cell sends us in to do the mission.
Yes.
This
And to
we're
do
supposed
it
to go in. We're supposed to
discreetly.
find it. We're not supposed to. Yeah, we've been fairly discreet the last week, but we need to get in and continue being discreet. The plan has been to work around security. We're not going in there just planning to murder everybody on the way to the Sapphire.
Well,
We
Do you
don't want to
wanna go right
involve the police. We don't want to involve. Like, am I insane here? Does anybody else think it's a good idea to involve potential multiple other police precincts to see whatever we're going to find in there?
Oh no, that's a terrible idea.
Okay, then why are you trying to get a warrant?
I'm not.
because it's the way to get in that won't leave us all dead. Besides, it could be explained away as a biomed company. They're biomed. They do crazy shit all the time. So, if we go in and we find a bunch of severed dog heads trying to bite at the hands of whoever, if the police see that, then we can explain it using the lab notes that we find in there.
I don't think that's gonna fly. Like,
Biology is a strange science.
all right, it's clear that conversing with you is not gonna work. I am not comfortable with letting people see it or witness it at this point. It's one of those things where if you're gonna have a problem with it, if you're so scared about going in there and doing something, then you need to do something to support us on the outside. Call your college friend and have him stage a student protest or something with the information that he's found that's so abhorrent. But we need to go in there and we need to do something, and we don't need to bring a bunch of fucking cops with us, and definitely no potential information breaches that A-Cell is going to get us killed over.
Okay. We'll see what I can do with Dwight.
And not to mention zombies.
Yes. Those do happen. Under certain circumstances.
Like starfish.
Galvanization. And
Weird. Weird thing you do with a chicken where you pull on its muscles and it does the reflex.
or how sometimes chickens can survive for a while without their head. Like I said, biology is a strange science. But I will contact Dwight and see how far I can push him.
Alright, so I'm gonna say that currently, since we're doing a bit of a retcon, Dresden is and Red Crow are both having a look at Lynn Crystal Stone, who hasn't left for her shift yet, and evening is falling over the prairies, and you're contacting Dwight in San Francisco.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yay. Do I need to roll a luck check or?
Nah, he has his phone is on for you. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yay. You should, yeah, this is, you know. So, yeah, he's gonna answer the phone. It's Dwight, y'all.
Again, Dwight, something has come up in the case, and I think I might be stuck here for a while.
Oh no, he'll say. That sounds terrible.
But I am free later on tonight if you'd want to make the trip. I'd hate to impose, but I just thought I'd let you know about an availability in my schedule since the previous one is not as available as it seems.
Where are you now? He says.
Where am I?
You're in Browning, Montana.
Okay, I'm in Browning, Montana.
You're, like, you're in Browning, Montana, investigating the ABC facility? Because I think they have a facility there.
Yes.
Wow, that's so cool. I'm telling you, we're gonna write the best piece together. You know what I did today? I did something
Yes?
awesome today. I called ABC.
Really? What'd they have to say?
Yeah, I called ABC. I went through the directory. I heard about this guy Turner, right? Who is apparently like the manager, like ABC in Montana. And I called all the way up there to their facility to ask them questions about biohazards and contaminating native lands. And, well, I didn't get to talk to the manager, of course. I tried to, but they sent me to some, receptionist or spokesperson or whatever. And, I introduced myself. I'm Mr. So-and-so, and I work for the Ecotopian, and, I told them, I wanted an interview, and at least, I think I've scheduled something. I hope it's gonna, turn out. It's gonna be, like, next week, so, fingers crossed. It's gonna be a phone interview, apparently, because, honestly, I can't afford going to freaking Montana, and I'd love to, but the term has just started, and I have to pay the tuition, and how it goes. But yeah, so I'm gonna try to interview them on the phone next week, and see what's going on with the pollution and the contaminations and stuff, and what about native rights, man? And we gotta protect the environment, right? And yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna present all this to Fiona, and I think it's gonna be cool, right?
Of course, yes.
Which means that I can't really, meet up with you tomorrow if you're not in Frisco,
Well,
when are you coming back to Frisco though?
sometime next week, I'm hoping.
Okay, that sounds good.
Like I said,
Yeah.
there was a recent development in the case, and it's kept me stuck here for a bit.
Right. No, yeah,
So-
that shit happens, right? And you have to dodge the authorities and everything, right? Because everybody's shady as fuck, right?
Yeah,
this goes deep. What about like? What
The
about
company's
like
one of the.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. The company's one of the highest employers in the area, so people have an investment in protecting it. So.
Oh shit, man! Are you telling me that like? No, but that can't be like, because that's like on a reservation, right? So.
Yeah.
Like the tribe must know something. You need to tell the tribe about this shit so they can act. Like they would never accept their having their like sacred ground polluted by this stuff, right?
Well, people need money, Dwight. I'm afraid that this is the only major employer in the area.
Yeah,
So-
but nature's more important than and spiritualism and stuff, right?
I'm afraid money is the new spiritualism here.
What? No, that can't be. Surely if you talk to like the tribe, they're gonna be like shut the whole thing down, right? Like they just don't know, right?
I'm not sure they know the extent, but they
See?
seemed pretty defensive.
We're gonna
when I
blow it right open, you and I. Yeah.
Of course. Well, I'll see you sometime next week.
Yeah. Take care of yourself, okay?
You too.
Yeah. Okay. Talk to you next week.
Talk to you next week. Bye.
He is the one who doesn't hang up first.
Yep. Well,
Well, Update from Dwight.
Yes. Well,
So
Dwight
what-
might be a dead end, but
Was that Gallows whom you just now? What does the team say as you report back?
I mean, it sucks we can't get Dwight to help create some sort of like protest or diversion outside the fence that would help draw dogs and security away. But outside of having like a tribal protest or something like that to a similar effect, I don't really see too many other things that's going to help. I mean, we're going to have to get in there one way or another, and like, we don't want to go in with police or anybody else that's going to be able to leak that information. We don't know it's just going to be a dog head. They might have some guy from the Civil War hooked up in there for all we know. There might be a vampire in there. Are those real? Do we know if those are real?
We don't know if those are real.
I'm putting my money on they probably have a vampire hooked up with some blue goo coming out of tubes. That's probably what they got going on in there. Tribes, they're going to tell everybody. About
Horseshoe crab vampire.
Horseshoe crab vampire. Sorry.
They got blue blood. It's like from the ocean.
Don't trust the
That-
crustacean man. Been saying that from day one.
I honestly don't know if that's better or worse. I guess it depends on the size of the horseshoe crab.
We could try firing the rocket launcher at the fence. That'd get their attention.
I really love the idea of shooting the rocket launcher at least once, but I think that should be oh no, we've been discovered. Let's shoot the rocket launcher at the admin building to kind of like redistribute forces in that direction.
So, since I'm bad at stealth, maybe I could man the rocket launcher at the admin building while you guys are inside.
I don't know what mechanically you would use to fire the rocket launcher, but if that's something
It's
that you're
like-
comfortable doing.
Heavy weapons.
Yeah, heavy weapons. I am the only one.
Fuck. Okay, plan B. We get some of that blue goo, resurrect Talbot, and have her man the rocket launcher.
Morgan can actually use heavy weapons.
Yeah, I can.
Morgan's also stealthy. We need her in the
So-
building.
So can Drista. Both of them can.
Okay, Dristan might be better outside then. Gotta keep him alive.
How good is Tristan at using the big bomb?
The heavy weapons he is at 50.
Okay, we're keeping him outside.
He's also good at sneaking. You can't be everywhere at once.
So it
I'm
sounds
better
like
at it than him. I got a 66.
Yeah,
Well,
and realistically, the more stealth checks that we have being rolled inside the facility, the more likely it is to go bad. So maybe keeping him on the outside, on the ready with the rocket launcher and a backup gun might be a good idea.
Yeah, it would also be suspicious if he dies but I stay alive. You know, suddenly out in Nebraska. I'd get questioned since we live in the same house. So,
It's heart disease.
yeah, that tends to happen when you get shot in the chest.
Don't I know it? And then I'll elbow Morgan.
Ah. Heh, very funny.
We'll keep him and I outside while you guys are inside.
So is this Fowlis and Morgan going to sneak into the facility tonight?
Yep.
I mean, if that's the play, because otherwise, the other plan is essentially to follow leads, leaning on a warrant. We didn't get any information out of her that helps. To be honest, out of character, I couldn't really tell whether or not she seemed to know anything or not. And if she is, she's obviously so quiet enough that we didn't push the right buttons to get the info anyway.
Yeah, she is hiding something. but the issue was having a detective around.
Yeah.
That got her to clam up.
I mean, if you think that the information she might give is going to be more valuable than moving on the facility before the security gets tightened, then it is what it is. But I mean, I really don't know how much specific more information we're really going to get. We know they got some spooky stuff in there. We know we got to figure out what it is eventually, and my FMLA is gonna run out eventually.
Yeah.
Well, sounds like we have a plan. Let's execute it.
Oh my god. Tristan just failed intelligence.
Yep. I just wanted to see if he could contribute to the conversation with any ideas, but nope.
I mean, when has he succeeded in intelligence? Just wondering.
At least I rolled for it.
Fair.
Well, we're definitely waiting for proper darkness, aren't we?
Yup.
Here's the thing. You don't have night vision goggles, do you? Because then we're entering into equipment that is harder to get. Or did you find night vision goggles in the latest green box? I don't remember.
Were there
I
night
thought there
vision
was.
goggles in the green box?
I'll be honest, it's been a while, but
There
I
might
thought
have
there were.
been.
There might have been.
It was
So,
a
yeah.
lot of bullets.
It was
A lot of
It was
bullets.
all the bullets. It was literally all the bullets. The entire stash of bullets in the world. I want to find up there. Hold on a moment. That's the one I wanted. Okay, so the green box content here. We had 2 white phosphorus smoke grenades, 2 flashbang grenades. We had all sorts of bullets, as we talked about. And what else did we have?
There was a regular fragmentation grenade. I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a regular frag grenade as well. And that was basically it, unfortunately. There was no tools for sneaking
Mm.
in this one. So all the bullets, but nothing for sneaking.
Note to self: buy night vision goggles.
Night vision goggles in 1998 are not easily accessible, maybe? I don't remember. I guess, for hunters, perhaps?
Perhaps.
Let's see.
The technology at that point had been out for at least 20
Yeah.
years, so I don't know if it's civilian
First
or not.
generation technology. So high performance, Gen 2 and 3 tightly restricted, but civilians could purchase lower grade consumer oriented night vision for hunting, boating, and surveillance. Bulkier, lower resolution, required more ambient light than military gear. So yes, it is, but also expensive, of course. So, since you have enough time to, because we talked about, you've been planning for a while. We've been abstracting the days and all that sort of thing. You could probably acquire this type of equipment, but it might cost you a coin if that's something you want.
I think since our Air Force friend can't do anything else for us, the least he can do is get us a couple sets of night vision goggles. Fall off the back of a supply truck.
You know what? That is something that can be organized, yeah. Because Drake has a Connect and with that Air Force XO, so yeah. Why not? You have night vision goggles. Let's go. Somehow, no, it's something that Phallus have been thinking about this surveillance for a while. You've been thinking about the entering. So it's going to be organized through a dead drop. Drake is going to be the go-between, so you guys don't have to go all the way to the Air Force Base. And he's gonna, make the trip and put them somewhere where you guys can find them, so it doesn't connect directly to him. So it's very, isolated, compartmentalized security, as it were. Which means that when you're going to infiltrate the facility, I guess you're gonna see it fairly clearly, aren't you?
Yep.
And we have decided that it's gonna be Phallus and Morrigan, and because we're gonna infiltrate the facility like so, I guess it's gonna be, is it gonna be at shift change or after shift change? Where do you want to go? Just for time keeping sense.
Here we go.
Probably after shift change, just since we already have the radios, at the very least, we can go ahead and get an idea for how many people are signing on with the radio checks.
Right.
Just get that last final confirmation.
Yeah, and that's gonna be, you've been through this before, so it's gonna be about the same number as it had been. The production keeps running through these 3 shifts, so the 100 or so staff that are involved in the actual production facility, they're gonna be in there. What, it's you would estimate that the staff is between 100 to 150 at all times, including security. You have estimated security to be around 15 maybe at every shift. And then maybe admin is another 50 or so. But admin isn't on the facility during evenings and nighttime. You've seen that much. They're only there during daytime. So this is as few people as you're gonna get, basically. There might be a little bit more custodial staff during the night than there is during the day. But that's about the long and the short of it. How are we getting into the facility, my friends? Are we swimming? Are we trying to get through the dog run? Are we entering through the rail network? It's up to you here to decide. Place your tokens on the map for infiltration attempt.
I think most of my gear that I would need for the security systems and the specialized stuff would probably not go well through the river.
That is very true.
So,
Unless you have a watertight bag.
I may have brought one, honestly, but
You've
Worse,
had
they wouldn't
enough
be
time
hard
to
to-
prep. You've had enough time to prep.
Though if the water's contaminated, we don't know if it'll affect you guys.
and I don't want to be walking around with squeaky boots, leaving wet footprints everywhere either.
That's too.
Mm.
Yeah, that would be. You cannot avoid the wet footprints if you go through the river. This much is true. And you have heard from your pickup that they are on the alert for this sort of thing. Like they have cameras watching the river. They have the bright lights. Whatever you're gonna do for sneaking in here, it's not gonna be easy. Like, I'll just put out some bright lights here.
It's too many lights.
I know. It's almost like they take security seriously here.
I don't know why they would.
Who knows?
What's the worst that could happen?
Good question. I love that question.
All right, Morgan, do you have any suggestions as far as like the dogs or anything? Getting in past the railway would get us past the dogs at least, because they don't overlap with that area.
Suppose so. I guess the train's our best bet.
But the train is not coming tonight, of course.
Not the train, but the
Oh,
railway.
gate. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. 'Cause I could swim. I'm a fish.
You are a fish, but yeah.
But, risk and whatnot. So, yeah. Guess
I mean,
the train.
If you want to swim, that's cool. I can't. I just can't be swimming like that. Is my only issue. So I've got base swim ability. So unless you're planning on pulling me along, probably not going to go so well.
Should we split up?
Probably not.
And I'll go in with the same as you. Just so we have an extra pair of eyes.
Yeah, we should probably try to make entry in the same way, just to make as little movement as possible, or at least as little points of entry as possible that people can track. But what's the plan? Are we trying to go through the admin building first, try to get information out of his office, or are we just trying to go straight to Sapphire and see what we can find there?
I don't want to be in that building any longer than I have to.
Okay,
Let's
so
go
start with
straight to
Sapphire.
Yep.
Okay. Then yeah, approaching from the river probably would be the fastest way to get to Sapphire. We'd have to cover a little bit more ground if we're going across from the railway. But as long as, we're aware of their movements and we get the extra plus 20% to our stealth for the bonuses, we should be good.
Let's complicate your life a little bit, shall we?
Stop.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Oh dear. Okay, we have a bunch of modifiers, plus and minus, don't we?
Oh gosh.
Well, so you have plus 20% on your stealth check because you have actually done some scouting and tried to establish their patrol routes and how they're coordinating, and you can even listen in to some of their radio traffic because Phallus is that good. That helps immensely. Normally there would be bonuses for darkness because I guess it would be a minus 20 to their alertness checks for darkness, but they don't have that problem at all because I guess I'm gonna give them bonuses as well because of the elaborate system they have here, which lights things up. Maybe they get a plus 40 in total for everything because
Oh my gosh.
of their elaborate system. So you have a plus 20 and they have a plus 40, which gives them a slight advantage. No, I'm not gonna lie. There's the barbed wire. You have to go around it. You have to time it. With there's cameras. Someone is watching those cameras in the security building. You're pretty sure. You haven't seen it. You don't know exactly what that looks like. But Phallus, being a security expert, would envision to himself an office room with TV monitors, because it's 1998, so we don't have computer monitors necessarily, or it's a mix across a wall that is feeding, all the camera feeds into the building, and you'll have to try and dodge that in the best possible way you can. You haven't been up close yet to actually study if there are blind spots for the cameras, so that's a possibility. If you could find those, you have something. So I guess, shall we go with our first stealth checks as you're approaching?
Oh boy, oh boy.
I never said it would be easy. But I did say it would be less risky because you haven't, gone in completely blind.
All right, let's go.
Oof, Morrigan.
What happened?
0-4? That's amazing. You're the sneaky.
Oh my gosh.
And that is also not a bad roll. I'm just gonna roll for one of them, because I'm not rolling for all of them. No, not like that. It doesn't matter. I rolled worse than you did. So even if I have an actual 89, which is technically a success, your success is better. So far, so good. You are by the fence, I guess, here by the railroad. Let's flip to the map with a key for now, because that puts us like this, and as you can see, there's no actual gate here by the railroad if you go in from the north side.
Oh boy.
It's gonna be easy. Easy peasy. Yes? Yes.
No, it's not. But we'll try our best.
So, we have the guards, and you know kind of where they are, so we'll have to do a couple of guards over there. We'll have a couple of guards over here. We'll have other guards elsewhere. There are gonna be people inside the building as well, and of course down by the actual, guard post, because obviously this is the benefit of having night vision goggles. So for now, I'm gonna say, because you have timed it in such a way that these guys have been here and they're moving this way. There are dogs, of course, in the dog run. And you guys are now here. So where do we want to go from there? We're heading to Sapphire, aren't we?
Yeah, seems to be the idea. It sure would be nice if it was dark, but obviously I feel like killing the power would put people more on alert. And I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's not dark around here because of all the powerful halogen lights. You're basically trying to run between the halogen lights. Maybe they don't have the entire area covered. Maybe there are some nooks and crannies that cast long and deep shadows. That's basically what you'll have to aim for. Are we rolling another stealth check to get to Sapphire?
Oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah, this is a place with serious security, and seeing it up closer is absolutely no more fun. Well, nice. We have strong successes from both of you. Will they roll better?
Probably.
No, they will not. If Turner ever hears about this, he's gonna have some people fired. Definitely. This is your win.
You will never ever hear about this.
This is your
You will
win here.
never.
You're rolling against me, and I roll terribly, so I have no.
You will
worries.
never hear about this if we have anything to say about it.
Right? That makes sense, actually.
You won't even know we were here.
We
Oof.
never knew you were there.
Vanish like shadows in the
Exactly.
wind.
Exactly that. As you sneak across the open ground here, I mean, the lawn is perfectly kept, so there's no tall grasses or anything to hide behind. You have to get in between the concrete buildings that are these production units, and then try to make your way towards the actual production unit somehow. And so far you have been able to do that. Next question is getting inside. And you are going to find that Sapphire, like the other production units, actually has, well, on each cardinal direction there is a door, which is an airlock, effectively. So how are you going to get inside that? That's where
Airlock in what way? It's not like
larceny comes in, isn't it?
it's for what?
Larceny comes in.
Larceny.
No, wait, not. Yeah, lock. This is this gonna be lockpick? Okay, let's have a look at our skill sets here because.
Alice, I think this is your thing.
Yeah, it's definitely his thing. But these are not ordinary locks. These are like key cards and the whole 9 yards. You need
Electronic security systems.
absolutely.
Which is Faust's thing.
Does Sigurd include that? Which skill includes? It's weird how little we have used these skills, isn't it?
On my
Sure,
sheet
okay.
under the special training, it's listed as intelligence, which I have as a 60%.
I mean, you have locksmith. Oh, like electronic security. Yeah, okay, that works. Let's go. So,
I don't know if my specialized equipment that I brought helps me with that at all, but
I'm sure it does. You're gonna do basically a Terminator 2 here, where you're trying to hack the unit with electronics, and that didn't work. Okay, since that didn't work, we're gonna have to ask you to roll another stealth check. It's taking time in there. And at this point...
For both of us?
Yes, please. I mean, the patrols are moving.
Hold on.
You forgot your plus 20.
oh, I haven't even been rolling my plus 20.
No, but this is important for Morgan because that turns that critical failure into a critical success.
Yeah, I don't know where. I didn't know how to do that.
When you're clicking on your skill, right click instead of click on it.
Alright.
That gives you
Do
the
I have to
plus
roll
20.
again?
No, absolutely not. We're nice and generous tonight.
Okay,
So you have a critical success.
that's nice.
That means the enemy is blinded.
No, not necessarily, but they're not
Critically.
going to see you yet because they roll worse than Phallus and they don't have a critical success. So far so good. Morrigan is like a ghost out there, moving so quietly that she's basically just Phallus's shadow at this point. How long do you want to keep trying this, Phallus?
I'll give it one more shot.
Very well.
Maybe creeping
sooner or
through the
later-
vest.
Oh my god! That
Crap.
was
That's insane.
Yeah.
I would also like to point out that I can't really mark down that I failed the electronic security
I know.
systems
'cause
role.
It's special training, so you need to go through special training to raise it, I think, or you just
Oh,
get it
okay.
and then you have it forever on that skill level. Like I can't recall off the top of my head because they're special skills, but yeah, they don't
got
work like other skills. Okay, fellas, you keep working on that thing, and finally you get a green light. And well, I mean the light actually doesn't make a noise, but there's gonna be like a beep, I guess, in the little keycard machinery, and you're gonna hear a as the door opens up for the airlock for you to enter.
Oh yeah. I'm not sure if the best way to be stealthy on the inside is to be conventionally stealthy or to just like walk shoulder and shoulder like a security patrol. But whatever seems more appropriate,
Don't
I
they
guess.
have like uniforms?
That was the thing. We were trying to get an eye on their uniform, so our tactical clothes at the very least looked close enough to theirs that it would pass at a glance.
On the other hand, your disguise skills are terrible. So
What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
they're not very good.
I should get better at disguise.
Why don't we have Morgan roll a disguise check for both of you? This is like a before you head out, so you will know how poorly it has gone.
Oh, if I fail,
As you do. So you don't want to. It's like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't show.
It's very close,
ourselves too
though.
much. Yeah, it was close.
Okay.
well, at
Then
least
yeah,
I
we'll-
get better at disguise from this.
Just keep it discreet. Keep out of the sight lines. Keep an eye out for cameras.
Indeed. Well,
You could probably take off the night vision goggles now that we're inside.
right. Yeah, you can just, put them up on your forehead. And you're going into the unit. You're going into the airlock of the unit. And I need to make an adjustment here. Sorry. It will take several seconds, probably.
And Corporate just left.
Oh no. Sad.
Yeah, I think it's time for their test.
Yeah, she has a couple of those this term as well.
Yeah,
It happens.
and a few too.
Alright. One thing that we're gonna notice as we're getting into this area here is, of course, that there's a lot of people in here. It's a tall building, 4 stories tall, with these chemical brewing vats that are... There's... Like, the wall is 1 meter thick as you're getting through it. There's a lot of cables, pipes, wires everywhere on the floor. And there's also a couple of dozen people that are working in here. They're all dressed up in proper, work equipment and coveralls and hard hats, and they're actually more like biohazard equipment, like, not sure full hazmat, but close enough. Air filters and everything, and they're working on whatever is going on in there, basically.
Is this like a suit up area where they have like spare PPE, like not hazmat suits, but all the stuff basically?
They should have that, shouldn't they? Because of just, safety concerns.
Well, how's that for a disguise check? Just wear what everybody else is wearing. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and set the bag down and go ahead and just start suiting up, and I'll throw a jumpsuit over to Morgan real quick.
I'll put that on.
Throw the nogs in the bag, grab a respirator, everything else I'd need.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you need all of it.
Gloves.
Alright, so we're stepping in with full hazmat equipment on. Yeah, production is going on here. The lights are on. You can hear the machinery working. You see a bunch of strange gauges and apparatus, various cables. Someone is a foreperson who is overseeing the operations. There's pipes and wires. You have no idea what they do, what they're for. There are, from these chemical brewing vats, there are substantial pipes that are leading out of the building towards the central hub, I guess. But right now people are concentrated mostly on the chemical brewing vats. Maybe you should roll a stealth check, not a +20 this time, because you have no idea what's going on here. You have no prep for what's going on here. On the other hand, there are no guards in here. You can see, workers, they're in small units. They're talking quietly to each other.
No stealth bonus for disguise.
This is more about moving around inconspicuously because you're trying to meld into the background, as it were, not drawing attention to yourselves, even though you're not having a job right now.
Crap.
So look at that, Morrigan. This is
I'm a
where you
ninja, bro.
shine, isn't it?
Oh
This
my
is what
God.
you're good at.
I have smoke in the wind.
You are smoking the wind. And so far you have outrolled anyone, so apparently they're not even going to notice that you're there. Holding that clipboard in your hand is really helping, isn't it, Phallus? It looks like you're
Whatever
very
works.
busy, checking things. That's what it is.
Oh, and occasionally I'll stop and I'll point at a pipe or something and write something down.
Exactly.
Nod at Morgan.
Yeah, and they all have their, badges and stuff, which you don't actually have because you didn't get any. But if you just keep your backs towards everybody else, they might not notice, and so far it's been fine. It's a procedural mood in here. It's a little bit tense. Sometimes you hear the shouts like, "Hey, we're not paid by the hour. Get that done right now." And there's a surname attached to it. Someone is running over to a valve and twitching, turning that valve. And remember, don't improvise. Follow the protocol.
That does not sound like the voice of the doctor that we're aware of, right?
You haven't heard the voice of the doctor directly, but it does sound,
yeah.
because you were listening to the doctor was talking through the phone with the manager. But what you caught in terms of the personality, let's go with a human check here. I'm gonna give you a -20 on it because you only heard Turner's end of the conversation. But it was you still heard a little bit of conversation, so you may have some kind of notion of their personality based on how Turner reacted.
And you said that's plus or minus 20?
-20. Because you only heard Turner's end.
Okay. Is there... Oh, there it is. Cool.
That is still a success. How about that?
Ooh,
Good work.
very nice.
Yeah. You would say it's probably not the doctor. This is probably more like some production, engineering 4-person foreman. So, how much does Phallus know about, how this type of production functions? Probably nothing at all.
Yeah, probably not.
This is where it would be great to have Gwyn or someone like it, though. This is also industrial engineering, right? So it's not even Gwyn's ballpark either. So
It's a college for engineering.
yeah, engineering would be good to have here. Does anyone have engineering at all? Like, no, we don't. No, that's a science skill, isn't it? Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No. So you don't know who that is, but you doubt it's the doctor. You'd think that's like, just listening to the procedures going on here, this is giving you a standard operating procedure, more conveyor belt production of chemicals, if you will. Not experimentation. You don't see anyone in here with a lab coat. You don't see anyone here studying things through microscopes or the kind of stuff that you saw in the chemical lab in San Francisco. That doesn't not exist in here. Those kinds of equipment doesn't exist in here. This is more what you would see, I don't know, in a beer factory, these big brewing vats, and then you put ingredients over there and it goes through pipes and it mixes through various large-scale production units. Whatever they're doing here is not experimentation, but conveyor belt mass production. It's a constant mechanical hum. The valves are clicking. The footsteps on the catwalk grating.
Well, if there's one thing I know out of character, it's how to cause an operational hiccup.
Cold industrial fluorescence, warning LEDs at airlocks. Workers are not really seeking eye contact. They're following procedure more than that. There is pumps going on, pressure needles are going up and down, condensers hiss, operators are calling out numbers to someone. VAT 2, temperature stable, flow good. Some worker is tapping a pipe with a tool and listens. Yeah, this is what they're doing. Moving sealed drums and containers from a staging alcove. They have a couple of workers in every brewing vat, rotating positions. You'll see the shift supervisor, obviously, who's walking around with a clipboard and radio and keys, and there is some kind of set of panels. It's going to take a while, of course, for you to locate the control room, but you can see the control room as well. I mean, you will identify that the control room is down here after a few minutes of walking around, because that's where people go in and out, and sometimes there might be some orders coming out of the control room through a PA system here. And yeah, hoses are getting connected, filters are swapped, gaskets are replaced. Yeah, there's also definitely people who are working with wipe downs and floor squeegees and checking airlock integrities, ventilation, sampling preps. This is large-scale production, definitely. You want to cause an industrial accident, I hear.
No, I didn't say that yet.
Okay. Sounded like it.
Oh, I want to. That's probably not the best thing to do right yet.
Very well.
That being said, if we do need to get some people... Sorry, what's that?
I mean, our whole job here is to fuck up whatever they're doing, so...
Oh, yeah. Well, we should at least figure out, like, a good place to go. Like, we don't want to start some sort of thing where we're going to have to get evacuated with everybody else. At least not until we find what we're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
2 points of interest. If the doctor has an office here, might want to check that out. Only if he's not on the floor, he might be there. Alternatively, I'm sure they have a special lab where they've got whatever that is secluded. I don't remember if we heard some sort of number in the conversation.
Roll an intelligence check to see if you remember if they had any numbers in the conversation.
It's been 2 weeks, but
I know, that's why I'm asking you to roll an intelligence check.
brain. I've done it. I've intelligized.
You have intelligized. Yeah, they said something about 6.
Neat. Looking for 6. I don't know if that's lab 6, wing 6, aisle 6, but I'm looking for it.
I would ask you to roll another stealth check because you're walking around here, and at any time, people might want to ask you for your badge. I think the time has come to ask for your badge.
I'd like to push the roll on that.
You would, wouldn't you? Yeah. Yeah, so as
I'm
you're
going to
walking
be this way.
around here looking for 6, wherever that might be, none of these vats, vats aren't 1 to 4. Then there's a bunch of other numbers for all the other equipment in here, like various drums, various mixers, various other machinery that also have numbers, and it's actually rather confusing when you've just come in here and you might want to go upstairs, you might want to go downstairs. You can see the stairwells, right? And it's just a lot to keep track of in just 15 minutes when you've never seen this place before. And it is when you're doing all this checking that one of apparently the foremen or 4 persons bounce into you or looks at you, Phallus, and goes like, "Hey there! Where's your badge?"
I'll go to pat for it, like I'm grabbing to grab it, and then realize that the hazmat suit's on the outside.
Yeah.
And then I'll do the old head on the head, like, oh man, I must have left it in the changing area. And then I'll start walking back that direction.
Very well. Roll a persuade check. Let's see how convincing your theatrics might be. Apparently, your theatrics are very convincing.
And yeah, I'll just take a little convoluted loop and try to get back around to Morrigan without him focusing on me.
Well, since the stealth check was a fail, but the persuade check was a success, I guess. As long as you're going to the actual airlock to get the thing, I guess, what's your name? Hey, anyway, we don't want any slip-ups. Turner's gonna be on my ass if this is not run by the numbers. Do you understand?
My bad. Won't happen again.
Damn
With that,
right
I'm off.
It won't.
No more follow-up.
Yeah. Alright. Morrigan has not been given any attention at all, so...
No, because I'm invisible.
Okay. To do the loop-de-loop here, Phallus, I will ask you to roll another stealth check, obviously.
Can I get a bonus with my familiarity with the area?
No.
Okay.
I am absolutely stone cold evil. But look at you go. You chose the right 2 people to do this insertion, didn't you? It's a good thing that Blair isn't there, right, Blair?
Yep.
Look at us go! Look at us go!
Yeah. Okay, so you do your.
This is just like that time we broke into the kid's bedroom.
Right? Yeah, pretty much. You do the thing. You go towards the airlock.
You don't talk about
some machinery, and look at all these cables that need to be sorted out, and then you blend into some other units, and apparently someone luckily called them that supervisor, and they had to go check something else and lost track of you. But you have been noticed once already, Phallus, so we'll see how this goes. Alright, where are we going now, Phallus and Morgan? You want to try to find number 6. I'm gonna
How many
say,
floors is this?
I mean, there's 4 stories in total, and
4 stories?
Yeah.
I think the upper rooms have any actual rooms in them instead of freaky vats, probably filled with blue goo.
Blue goo. Yeah, there probably are offices, but I'd say the labs or like the specialized wings are probably where they've got the funky stuff.
I mean, just based on your situational awareness, Morrigan, you will know what is north and south here, or, you know, where is the cardinal directions and everything. So you came in from, I guess, the northeast-ish, because this is, like, offset from the main building, right? So the direction towards the control, the administrative building would be down here. Down here. But that requires going through at least another airlock and possibly more stuff. And possibly other complications, who knows what. So, in other words, you have not found a 6 in that would correspond to what you're looking for, Phallus, in this main area. Going up
And so,
down.
sorry, there's the spiral staircases and then the regular staircases going up and down as well?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's always harder to fight upstairs. So I'm guessing that's not where we're probably going to have to go downstairs to find the spooky stuff. They always want to keep spooky things in a basement. Nobody ever keeps it in, like, top floor. What's up with that?
Well, I guess we're doing another stealth check, folks.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah. TikTok.
Infil.
Sooner or later, the failure will come and things will happen. So it's up to how ice cold you guys are and how much luck you have with your dice. And Morrigan has all the luck with her dice. Nobody notices her.
What?
She just you know, blends into everything else.
I think I might be occasionally losing Morgan.
Yes, you might be.
Holy
Morrigan
crap!
is very stealth. Right, you're gonna get all the way down to the ground floor of this place, as far as down as you can go by the stairs, which is, you know, you're going from,
That's
now
creepy.
that you have such a good view of this place, certainly Morrigan has, because you have that critical success, which means that you don't have to just focus on your own inconspicuousness, you can also have some situational awareness. And I'm going to allow you to roll an alertness check for this area.
Okay.
Sorry, was that me too, or just her?
No, just her.
Got it.
Right. Pretty good, pretty good.
She was made for this. This is finally Morrigan's mission, isn't it? After all those times that you've been sitting, listening to other people doing investigations and talking to people and checking forensics and, you know, finding clues in rooms that you're not trained for, now you are in your element, Morrigan. And you can count in total in this production facility about, you would say, how much? 20 people in here on the different levels altogether. It's 4 stories tall, so they're divided up into different work teams. 4 work teams, 5 each, a 4-man per team. So it's not that many people when you're actually on the different levels, which is good and bad. Good in the sense that there are fewer people to sneak around. Bad in the sense
Bad
that
because-
you stick out a little bit more because you can't hide in a crowd. But so far, so good, right? And as you get down to the bottom floor in this production facility, unfortunately, there are no further exits. There's no door saying 6 on it. There's no door to a basement. There's no hatch in the floor. There are some maintenance hatches here and there that are, secured and closed. There's plenty of biohazard signs on various apparatus and machinery around here, including the vats, obviously. But then again, I have a feeling you don't particularly want to open the vats right now, which will be very tricky and require heavy machinery checks, unless you have... Did you bring any grenades in here?
Oh, I brought a single fragmentation grenade.
Okay, you brought a single fragmentation grenade.
I probably should have at least brought a smoke as well, but I don't know if I would
It's my
have.
heavy machinery. I have heavy machinery.
You have
Yes,
heavy
I have that.
machinery. Yes, you do, but it's not terribly good.
Yeah, it's not.
Chances of succeeding are, this is where Talbot would have come in and been amazingly useful.
Jeez. Killed in a Jeep Cherokee.
Right. Very sad. But you are now on the bottom floor, and down here, there are no exits or entries. You have to go all the way back up again to get out. And yeah, down here, it's just, more of the same, really. And because you have now moved around, we're going to ask you for another stealth check, because that's what we do, isn't it?
Yeah. You'll kill me.
Eventually. Wait, what? Did I say that?
No. Nope. My time has come.
Your time has come.
I
Both of
failed.
your times have come.
It failed. It's time.
It's time.
I
Well,
wish to crawl into a maintenance hatch and
Huh?
disappear.
you
to
do,
the either.
but this time you don't actually crawl maintenance hatch and disappear.
I don't.
What you do instead is, as you come down to the bottom of the staircase, the foreperson is gonna look up towards you and be very surprised. What are you doing here? They're literally asking. Stands there with a clipboard. Who are you? Where are your badges? Starts walking up to you. What do you do?
I'm just walking away.
Where are you going?
Just
back.
walking towards one of the exits. The one I came in from.
Oh, then you'd have to go all the way back up again. Hey, I'm talking to you. Who are you? What are you doing here? We don't have a shift change yet. Get back to your stations. Show me your badges.
Turner didn't give us badges. I say as I roll a persuade check.
Yep. Wow.
Wow, what the heck?
The fuck? That's not protocol. I'm gonna have to check this. You know what? Because you succeeded with a persuade check, you didn't fail. They're gonna look.
That was
towards
more
the
of an
others.
an implied intimidation type thing. It was like, oh yeah, Turner knows we're here,
Yeah,
but we don't have badges. Yeah.
but we don't have badges. Turner. God damn it! There was something going on that they don't tell me about. Well, just stay out of our way, okay? We can't miss the production target on this one.
That's the idea.
Oh, that's the idea, huh? Yeah, fuck you too. He's clearly this is someone who's clearly very annoyed and believe that you are here to supervise his supervision of the team and report to Turner in some fashion.
Task failed successfully.
Exactly.
Oh my lord.
Oh.
Alice, I don't know what I would have done without you.
Probably shot somebody.
You're a genius.
That's okay.
You're a genius.
All right. Now that being said, let's take that clipboard and go look at some more stuff.
What stuff are we looking for now?
Probably. So the staircase that we went up and down just took us down to like a lower area. Could we see the other staircase entrances down there, or was it just one quadrant to the basement?
No, you can see it's all open floor. So.
Okay. Then yeah, I guess we're going upstairs now.
Yep. Back upstairs.
I'm sorry. Did we just come from upstairs? I thought we went in the basement.
No, you come in, like, the doors, the airlocks, all the airlocks open up on the highest level.
Oh, okay.
So you were like, oh, the bad stuff, the evil wizard labs are always in the basement, so let's go to the basement. And you went all the way down, all the 4 stories down, and got to the ground level, which is basically concrete floor. Though there is, I think it's like the steel mesh grating with concrete floor underneath it. But from here, there is no way out of the production facility, so you'd have to go all the way up again.
Okay, got it.
Airlock.
So we're on like the 3rd floor under where we started.
4th floor anyway. Yeah. Okay. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4 down. Yeah. It's 4 stories in total. So yes.
Then, I mean, yeah, I guess if we're not really seeing any labs or anything specific, I can just keep climbing the stairs again. The spiral staircase is uniform throughout the rest of the area, though, right?
Yeah. No, it's goes all these various staircases. It's clearly built for easy access, so you don't have to walk too far to get to a staircase, basically.
Okay.
But they all go throughout the entire facility.
But we haven't seen any like rooms or any separate areas. It's all just open floor the whole way through.
Yep. Open floor, heavy industrial stuff.
And the floor we entered was the highest floor and nowhere to go above that.
Oh, that's correct.
Huh. It's weird.
But that is also where you would access the control room, and the control room is what separates this production facility from the administrative building.
Okay.
Just based on situational awareness, like that's like a survival check, if you will. But I mean, I'm not gonna have Morgan roll it because Morgan is spec ops and knows which way is north and south. She spent a couple of days out in the grass watching over this facility. She knows that there is that all of these hubs, you know it too, that all of these hubs are connected to the main administrative building. There is no, open air between them. There is the buildings connect to each other physically, so you can definitely go from the administrative building to a production hub without going outside. That's not hard to figure out. And to do so, now that you're inside the production facility, you would have to go through on this map, the southern airlock. It's not quite south, it's more like southeast, southeastern airlock, I guess, because you're in the Sapphire unit, but yeah. Because each of the various units are sitting sideways to the main administrative building.
Okay. Well, at the very least, as long as the top dog in this building thinks that we're allowed to snoop around, we may as well go ahead and check out the control room, and if we have the opportunity to pop over to admin, since it's mostly empty, that might be a good opportunity to do so.
Well, we're gonna get back to the problem that you had before as you're going down to the airlock. On the top floor now, you don't have any pass cards to open the airlock to get inside.
Foreman's not up here.
What was that?
The foreman is not up here.
There is another foreman up here, definitely. They're working on stuff. There's a team on every level.
Okay. Well, that's a whole different persuasion check, so.
Yep. And you've already interacted with the foreman up here. They've already complained about you not having a badge.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Morgan, any ideas?
Why are you asking me for ideas?
You're the special forces.
Okay, sure you can't like break it.
I mean, if you want to cover for me, I can try to get in there. I just don't have a badge, and then people might be like, "How'd you get in here?"
Didn't you say that you left your badge in the changing room?
Yeah, but that was a
Right.
different changing room. That changing room was over there. Is that well? Oh, okay, fair enough. They might not know the difference because they didn't see where you got in. That's a fair point.
You left your badge in the changing room.
Okay.
And without your badge, you cannot get into the changing room. So,
We're consistent with our story. That's what I'm hearing.
But then they're gonna expect us to have a badge to get out of the changing room.
Roll another stealth check as you're having this conversation with each other and discussing. where to go. I mean, you're not talking very loudly, obviously. I'm assuming whispering and such. But you might still draw attention to yourselves. Which you didn't this time, so good for you, I guess.
And yeah, I'll go ahead and I guess knock on an open area. Try to get inside.
Yeah, you are definitely not drawing any attention at you right now. I mean, roll a human, both of you. You've been here for long enough now to be able to do that. Oh, fellas.
Oh.
And Oregon. Okay. I guess the pressure of just being inside here and the fact that everybody is wearing a lot of gear makes it hard to read the people here. The atmosphere is procedural. They're doing their conveyor belt chemistry, I guess. It's very much a factory in here.
Did we get any response when I knocked on the control room door?
Oh, I mean, it's an airlock, so it's going to take a while to get a response, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, yeah, there's going to be a response through an intercom, I guess. What's going on out there?
I can't find my badge. I think I left it in the changing room.
You left it in the changing room?
Yeah, I know.
Who is... roll a persuade check. Let's see if... I'm cruel and heartless, but maybe they don't recognize your voice. You are blessed by the dice gods, Phallus, aren't you?
I will lie to anybody. I don't care.
Right? They are
Phallus.
going to open the airlock for you.
Nice.
You can get in through the airlock. Now here comes the problem. You're now in a big airlock with a lot of lockers, obviously. And I guess this is where you're supposed to take off your special clothes.
I mean, but we're not supposed to be taking off the clothes. You're looking for a badge.
Correct. I'm looking for the badge to go back
Right.
in. I'm gonna roll a luck check and pray somebody left a badge somewhere in a locker, somewhere, somehow, maybe tailgated on the way out and didn't realize it.
I would think that would be a less than a 50% chance, but okay, go ahead.
How does a
Luck
man
check is
roll a
50.
luck check? Is it statistics? Where is
You
luck?
have
It's the
It's
three
on
dots.
the
top
top,
right, right?
on the black border of the character sheet.
you got the
Oh.
a literal coin flip, you know.
No. Nobody's left a badge. Which tracks, because they have...
Hey, can I roll one?
Nope, we've had one already.
Hmm.
I'm
Oof.
cruel and heartless handler.
Of course.
So you are in the main airlock here, and you are, I guess. What are you doing in the main airlock?
All right, we are actively searching for this badge, or at least pretending to search for the badge. And if we don't find it, well, odd darn, it isn't here. You must have dropped it somewhere else.
I guess the big play is look surprised and realize, like, wait a second. Which side? Is this the south side of the building? We came in from the west side of the building.
Oh,
The only people.
You feel let me go.
The control room folks will just be like, Jesus Christ, you guys, seriously. Turner is gonna absolutely. Dekiel is gonna have our ass. If you guys are gonna get fired if Dekiel finds out what you're doing.
Please don't tell anybody, please.
I should write you up for this shit.
That's why you night shift guys are the best, man. Everybody knows it.
Roll a persuade.
Damn it, come on, man.
I am.
It's foolproof. It's foolproof.
The longer you stay
my
here,
God.
the longer you stay
Whoa.
here.
Yo, fellas.
All right,
Fellas,
so they're
what the
gonna
hell,
let you
man?
leave apparently, and because they have overrides in the control room, they're gonna let you go through an airlock, I guess, because you've already checked all this place. So, and you managed to even hack the security systems without alerting the control room because you rolled a good check on that. So it wasn't a critical success, but it was a very good check. Does this mean we're leaving the production hub again?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
I
nothing
think
here
that-
for us.
And going outside again?
Do not
think it-
take off the
Yeah.
take off the things.
Take off things? Keeping
yeah, they're gonna make-
keeping a bowl cap on or something to not show your faces to whatever cameras around.
Yeah,
Of course.
but take off the stuff that stands out.
Right.
Did Morgan wear like a fake mustache or anything?
She failed with the disguise check, so it's entirely possible, yes. But it's fallen off now because she was running and stuff. Alright, so it's almost 1 a.m. by now. Are you gonna do a foray into the administration building, or are we leaving, or are we doing something else?
Should
I'm
we're here.
gonna leave that up to Morgan.
I don't want to be in here any longer than I have to, and I don't want to have to do this again.
Okay. Admin it is.
Admit it is.
I say it is with a very, very heavy sigh.
With a very, very heavy sigh. Very well then. I think this is actually the perfect place to pause the story for this time with a nice cliffhanger with the two of you heading toward admin and hoping that nothing more bad will happen. And we're gonna raid some friends of mine on the Crucible Gaming group. They're doing some other RPG, Stars Without Numbers, apparently. And thanks everybody for tuning in, and remember to like, subscribe, ring the bell icon, follow the channel, all the things you do on Twitch and YouTube to stay in contact with Asa. And we will see you next week when half of Z-Cell is entering the administration building and hoping that nothing goes pear-shaped.
Things are going to go wrong.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's
It's
just
fine. Right?
the thing is, we are like wondering if things are going to go wrong, because they're going to go wrong. We're just going to wonder how well we're going to handle